Patients always want to know how long something's going to take to heal. And the common answer is, how long is a piece of string? Because we don't wave a magic wand. I always say to patients, I'm not going to heal this wound up, you are. It's your health that's going to heal that up. And that involves keeping well, nutrition, blood glucose control and all that, those types of things. So sometimes, I suppose, when something deteriorates, patients can get quite upset because they think they've failed or they've done something wrong, and sometimes it's not. Sometimes it's just they've been dealt a bad hand of cards, just another illness has come in, if they're on immunosuppressants for renal transplants, say, and things like that. So it can be a number of issues, and you are dealing with the psychosocial impact of living with a chronic disease. And we have to involve the patient in all aspects of their management. So in choosing any sort of treatment regime, you have to decide based on what's best for the patient. So if they're having pain or discomfort, then you need to consider that. You need to select an appropriate dressing. You won't want to go pop in an antimicrobial that can sting on somebody who's already in excruciating pain. If they've got pain in their feet, they're not going to want tight bandages and stuff that's going to add more pressure to that. So clinically, you have to decide, what do I need to do? Do I need to rehydrate? Do I need to put antimicrobials on? And then you look at what you've got available to yourself and then select an appropriate dressing on those grounds. The other thing is if somebody's going to be doing their own dressing changes, you need to keep it simple, whereas if nurses are involved, then you can maybe use something more complex. With the foot, you also need to consider what job they do. Are they going to be at work? Are they going to have to wear safety shoes? Am I going to have to minimise my dressing so that it fits in their shoes? Or is it that they can stay off their feet and you can, put full bandages on? There's lots of issues and lots of variables that need to be considered, but if the patient's not on side, they're not going to comply, and then it's going to make your management even harder. As a specialist podiatrist in diabetes, often our referrals come via other health professionals. Unfortunately, sometimes we see people too late when the writing's already on the wall and a wound's already in that chronic stage. A lot of diabetic patients don't have feeling, so potentially could have a wound for a long period of time before they even notice it. And also because they have neuropathy, they don't limit their activity, so they'll continue, for instance, to wear a pair of shoes that's rubbing or walk around on a broken foot. Often the challenge is knowing what the cause of the wound is and what's stalling it, and that's then where the assessment is key. You're always problem solving, you're always sort of troubleshooting, and when things are going well you think you've got it right, but then you could just turn a corner and it take a sudden nosedive. And we always have this saying in our centre when things are improving, just shh, don't talk too soon, let's wait till it's fully healed. But there will always be a reason, and I'll often say to some of my colleagues, there has to be something, there has to be a reason why it's not healing, because if we're providing the right environment and the sufficient blood supply, it should heal. But I suppose with the foot and the diabetic foot especially, there's so many variables, there's so many things to consider, and that's probably the biggest challenge. It's making sure that you don't forget anything, that you're ticking all those boxes. For me, the benefit of Woulgan was it reduced pain. Dressings weren't sticking, their experience was good, and it was their feedback which kind of made me think, actually, we'll try this. But also it just created the right environment for wounds for me. It was easy to apply, patients were able to sometimes change their own dressings, nurses, it was dead easy, like, here's a tube, crack on with it, so to speak. And in all of them, I didn't have to change any of the offloading mechanisms because it wasn't bulky or anything. I didn't have to change secondary dressings because I could still apply the same secondary dressing. So all I was saying to patients was, we're adding this in extra to see if it helps. So their confidence was like, yeah, okay, we'll give it a go. And then when we started to see the benefits, obviously, it just went on from there. It's really rewarding. I mean, I love my job because it's like, you're helping people.